know what I'm saying? And the thing about reality, it's all real, it's all natural, but some things are, you know what I'm saying? Some things are needed for the climax and the rising.
Open up the door to my bedroom, as you shouldn't have to either. Open up the door to my bedroom for everybody to come in, chime in, and make their opinions about what we do and don't do or should or shouldn't do. But I will say this, whatever we ever have done has been done with consensual.
Atlanta didn't erupt last night. The internet did. Feeds blew up with late-night posts claiming King Harris was in the ICU and his family was told to prepare for the worst.
Yes, that's right. Lawyer Tyrone Blackburn is going to authorities, asking and encouraging state and federal prosecutors to start a criminal investigation into T.I. and Tamika Harris, aka Tiny, on behalf of 11 accusers.
Clips, leaks, and eerie audio raced across TikTok and YouTube, each one louder than the last. But here's the problem. For all the tears and scary headlines, no credible outlet has confirmed any ICU hospitalization.
Him being arrested isn't really like the shocker. It's him coming out and his, I guess, reaction to it, right? Because everybody's saying, King, you grew up privileged, bro. Why are you going down this path? Now he's talking about F the police, F12. So, you know, he just don't.
No hospital statement, no police report, no on-record family rep. What we do have is a rumor machine running at full speed, stacking shock on top of speculation and calling it news. Tonight, we unpack it all. What was alleged, how it spread.
Cuoco have some time to himself, sit down, soak it up, and come up with what he need to do.
What counts as proof, and what's actually known right now. Because if this is real, it deserves clarity. And if it isn't, it's the clearest lesson yet in how the algorithm can turn fear into content. It started the way internet earthquakes always do, with a single, shaky post. ICU, pray for King. No hospital badge, no police report, just a caption, a crying emoji, and a promise that leaks were coming. Within hours, the line had been copied into TikToks and YouTube thumbnails that looked identical. The same grave font, the same heartbeat sound, the same claim that T.I.'s son was fighting for his life. But when you pull on the thread, everything loops back to the same rumor circle. Recycled clips, dramatized voiceovers, and zero verifiable sources. As of now, reputable outlets say the ICU claims remain unconfirmed. No on-record hospital statement, no official documentation. Just a story moving faster than the facts. Within hours, the same script was everywhere. Ominous music, ICU in block letters, prepare for the worst in the caption, and a promise of leaked audio or CCTV. Dozens of near-identical YouTube uploads and TikToks recycled the storyline. King attacked, rushed to Grady, machines beeping, family collapsing, while pointing to other rumor videos as sources. That copy-paste amplification made the claims feel inevitable, even though no hospital, police agency, or verified family rep confirmed them. In fact, write-ups tracking the chatter note, there's no legitimate evidence he's hospitalized. Most of what's circulating are chain-reposted clips built for clicks, not receipts. Rumors don't go viral just because they're loud. They spread because they feel plausible. King Harris has lived under a magnifying glass for years. Clipped arguments, wild live stream sound bites, out-of-context headlines that made him a magnet for hot takes. So when a late-night post claimed, ICU and prepare for the worst, it slotted perfectly into the narrative people already thought they knew. That's confirmation bias at work. Your brain loves a story that proves it was right all along. Add parasocial emotion, fans feel like extended family. Dramatic thumbnails, and a few "my cousin works at the hospital" comments, and suddenly a rumor looks like a report. There's also the copy and paste aesthetic of internet panic. The same heart monitor beep, the same blurred hallway photo, the same grayscale leaked text thread. When 10 channels show you the same template, your brain mistakes repetition for proof. And in 2025, it gets trickier. AI voice clones can fake guard audio, AI upscales can make any dim corridor look like an ICU, and stock B-roll of hospital equipment can be dressed up as exclusive footage. Put all that on top of real-world stressors, late-night scrolling, half-read captions, and adrenaline, and the line between allegation and evidence disappears. But here's the tell. Believable stories come with verifiable anchors. Names, dates, paperwork, on-record statements. Viral ones come with vibes. This one was all vibes. And that's why the next part matters. What actually counts as proof and why none of the viral uploads could produce it. But that wasn't the whole story. If this were real, the proof would look boring. And that's exactly why you should trust it. Receipts are hospital press statements with a named spokesperson. Police or incident reports with a case number. An on-record family representative confirming specifics. Timestamps, locations, and documents you can actually verify. If there's ICU footage, real proof includes chain of custody, who recorded it, when, how it was obtained, intact metadata, and matching camera angles pulled directly by the facility. Not a screen record with 3 filters and a watermark. Rhetoric is everything else. A nurse DM'd me, a guard whispered, sources say, and stitched TikToks pointing to other stitched TikToks. Rhetoric leans on vibes, sad music, grayscale clips, and captions like, pray now, but can't answer basic questions. Which unit? Which attending? What time was the code called? Who signed the incident log? If answers vanish the second you ask for names and numbers, you're not looking at evidence, you're watching a storyline. Also, remember the risk. Any real hospital leak carries HIPAA heat. People don't casually upload protected charts without consequences. When leaks are everywhere but nowhere official, you're probably seeing a rumor storm, not a report. And so here's the line. Receipts equal sign names, numbers, documents. Rhetoric equal sign mood, montage, mystery. Until receipts show up, this is a rumor with great editing. But that wasn't the whole story, because the internet didn't just repeat it, it supercharged it. When a rumor needs weight, the internet raids the archives. Overnight, creators began stitching in old press clips and lawyer sound bites, especially that Tyrone Blackburn press push about T.I. and Tiny, to make today's ICU claims feel inevitable. The trick is subtle. Splice yesterday's allegations beside tonight's music bed, and suddenly it looks like a straight line from accusation to hospital bed. But time doesn't work like a montage. Those pressers were from a different moment, a different issue, and they were publicly disputed at the time. Folding them into a fresh ICU storyline doesn't prove anything about what happened this week. It just borrows gravity from an older storm. It's the coherence illusion. The more neatly the clips interlock, the more true the package feels. A lawyer's podium, a courthouse backdrop, a grim headline, a blurry hallway photo. Stacked together, they impersonate proof. And once that edit hits your For You page, you don't remember which pieces are old, which are new, and which were never verified in the first place. That's how narratives harden. So here's the filter. Separate then from now. What was alleged back there doesn't automatically confirm what's claimed here. If the present tense claim needs past tense footage to stand up, it's standing on someone else's legs, but that wasn't the whole story. Because the machine pushing those stitches has its own incentives, and it's hungry. Shock is the internet's superfood. Rumors wrapped in leaks, exclusive audio, and CCTV hit every dopamine switch the platforms know how to amplify. The titles are urgent, the thumbnails are grayscale panic, and the captions promise answers they don't want you to see. Engagement surges, the system smiles, and the clip gets one more push. That's not a conspiracy, it's a feedback loop. The more we watch, the more it spreads. The more it spreads, the more we assume it's true. Creators understand this physics. A few edit tricks, heart monitor beeps, hospital B-roll, bold red arrows, breaking text, turn speculation into something that looks reportable. Add a solemn voiceover and a prayer hashtag, and you've built a video that feels like news even if it never clears the bar for proof. The algorithm doesn't check sources. It measures reactions. Anger, fear, sympathy, those are the currencies that buy distribution. Here's the trap. Once a claim is everywhere, correction feels like heresy. Videos that ask for receipts perform worse than videos that promise secrets. So the responsible creators add disclaimers, cite what's actually verified, and take the inevitable hit on clicks. The irresponsible ones sprint past nuance and cash out on emotion. Either way, the machine keeps running. So if it feels like the entire timeline confirmed the ICU story, remember what confirmed really meant. Watched, shared, stitched, and memed, not proven. And that's why the next part matters. Because behind the metrics are real people who live with the fallout. But that wasn't the whole story. Behind the thumbnails and breaking banners are people who don't get to log off. A rumor isn't just content to a family, it's a 3:12 a.m. group chat that won't stop vibrating. A mother refreshing her mentions until the screen blurs. A father watching strangers narrate his worst fears back to him in 4K. For friends, it's texts from numbers they haven't saved in years. For siblings, it's classmates whispering in hallways about things nobody can prove. Parasocial grief makes it messier. Millions who don't know King feel like they do, so timelines fill with prayers. And right beside them, opportunistic edits that farm those prayers for views. When creators splice ICU claims with old allegations, they don't just bend a narrative, they bend a family's night into a spectacle. And once the panic is monetized, there's no rewind button. Clips outlive clarifications. Screenshots outlive apologies. There's a cost for the audience, too. Anxiety loops. Doom scrolling until sunrise. The quiet shame of realizing you shared something you can't verify. It's why responsible coverage matters. Label rumor as rumor, source what you can, and leave space for the possibility that the scariest version isn't the true one. Because if this is real, it deserves precision, not theater. And if it isn't, the damage is already done. But that still wasn't the whole story, because after the smoke of speculation, we have to ask what's actually known right now. Here's the ground truth without the dramatic filters. As of now, there's no verified hospital statement, no on-record law enforcement report, and no confirmed family representative publicly attesting that King Harris was in an ICU or that doctors told anyone to prepare for the worst. The loudest posts reference other posts, not documents. The guard audio and CCTV clips making the rounds don't come with names, dates, chain of custody, or metadata you can independently check. That doesn't automatically make them fake, but it does keep them in the rumor column, not the verified one. What would move this story from speculation to confirmed? A named hospital spokesperson issuing a statement, time, unit, condition. A case or incident number from police or EMS tied to a specific call. An on-record statement from a family rep, publicist, attorney, corroborating details. Original source files with intact metadata, not screen-recorded, watermarked edits. Until one of those receipts lands, the responsible position is simple. Label this as unverified and watch for updates from credible outlets. If confirmation drops, it will be clear, time-stamped, and widely echoed by trustworthy sources, not just reshared by copy-paste channels. So we're left with two realities: the story the internet prefers and the facts we actually have. And that sets up the only question that matters going into the finale. Do we want the scariest version of events or the truest one? By the time the rumor cycle hit full speed, the internet had already decided on a storyline. ICU lights, masked intruders, a family on the brink. But stories aren't proof. If this is real, it deserves receipts, not recycled edits and whispered leaks. If it isn't, then a family just lived through a panic the algorithm built for engagement. So here's where we land. Demand sources, not vibes. Ask for names, timestamps, documents, then decide. Because the difference between tragedy and viral fiction is the paper trail no thumbnail can fake. Your move. Do we reward the scariest version or the truest one? Drop your take below. If a verified update lands, we'll pin it on top and cover it with the same energy, minus the guesswork.